Okay, so I am right here by Nam de Moon on Memorial Drive, and my phone is charging there. And being that they are doing all of this to me to try to keep me from telling you whatever is on these pieces of paper, I'm only going to be able to go into the global statement right now because Nam de Moon is about to close, and I can't loiter right here after hours. And the black people are leaving me outside, and it's freezing. Global statement. My last video was about me limping and wobbling on my way to North Indian Creek Drive to go to the public library on North Indian Creek Drive. I typed this when I got to the library because my last video was me saying that I was going to the library on the way and I was wobbling. I was limping and wobbling. That video where it says I'm limping and wobbling to the library, and my phone died, and they pulled all these operations on me on my way. So as soon as I got to the library, I typed up the operations of what they did. So let me finish telling you. People are going to be making noise, and they're coming. Gang members are coming right now into Namdae Moon, and so they're very afraid, I guess, to be exposed, but I think they should just go on ahead and be exposed. It's too cold out here to be doing this to me. And it said my last video was about me limping. These are the operations that they pulled on me on my way to the public library to release the information about the United States covering up my pregnancy. I was walking Memorial Drive, wobbling and limping before I got towards where the DeKalb County Jail. A Hispanic stood at the corner to intimidate me in landscaping uniform. Then two black people, a black man and a black woman, came walking across the street where I was crossing the street on Memorial, and they also had on landscaping uniforms. I have to come close because they're making. I crossed the street and walked past the DeKalb County Jail on Memorial Drive. I crossed another street by the Wendy's on Memorial Drive, and there was a Black Bloods gang member with a red cap on and black clothing. The man tried to buck at me, and I moved. They're moving the cart, so I'm gonna have to talk right here. Please listen closely. The man tried to buck at me, and I moved back. Then he tried to speak to me, and I kept walking. Then I immediately walked past the United Inn Kitchenette motel. And as I was walking past the second entrance, a black man with light brown skin, short dreads to his ears, in an orange T-shirt and jeans started approaching me from out of the United Inn Kitchenette motel. I had to stand my ground in a defensive stance. The black man saw me watching, and he acted as if he were going to cross the street. Then he proceeded to follow behind me. I went to cross the street on Memorial Drive to get away from the black man with the orange shirt on that was following me from the United Inn Kitchenette Motel, when I noticed a homeless man on the opposite side of the street coming up Memorial Drive, behaving erratically as if he were a crazy homeless person. The man was wearing a black T-shirt, jeans, shoes, clothing with red accents, and he was a dark-skinned male with short nappy hair. He started walking faster behind me after I crossed the street to get away from the black male that was deliberately following me on the opposite side of the street coming up Memorial Drive. I stood on the hill by an auto sales yard, grabbing the fence and lifting my body up on the hill and looked down to allow the black homeless looking man following me behind me to pass by. He stared at me angrily as I watched him pass by for my safety. Then the black male at the opposite side of the road, who was following me from the United Kitchenette Motel, stopped at the Fresh Food Mart parking lot by Tanglewood Drive and Memorial Drive. I kept far distance behind the black homeless looking man when I saw two dark-skinned black men coming down North Indian Creek Drive to Memorial Drive on my left side in white T-shirts. That's when I noticed a white male in a black Jeep who also appeared to be following me coming down North Indian Creek Drive. I continued walking up Memorial Drive, and I noticed the cars following me, pulling out of establishments. I noticed them following me from by Baskin Robbins and from by the Waffle House on Memorial Drive. I continued to walk up Memorial Drive, and I noticed another dark-skinned black male with shorter height, low haircut, holding a cardboard sign by the Valero at Rock Bridge and Memorial Drive. The black man was wearing a black T-shirt, and he started walking towards my direction from afar. I continued walking up Memorial Drive, and I turned left in front of the Wells Fargo on North Indian Creek Drive. This is when things got really crazy because this is the street that the library is on. I crossed the street by Pro Way Hair School to walk on the sidewalk on my left side on North Indian Creek Drive going towards the public library, and there were cars speeding in my directions to intimidate me like they were trying to hit me, and I was crossing the street. Then they started swarming past me, staring me down. I got by the U.S. Arabia store, and cars started swarming out of the U.S. Arabia parking lot. Then cars started trying to swarm into the U.S. Arabia parking lot. They then created a roadblock stopping me from crossing the street. I then had to yell to direct traffic to clear the walkway so I could cross the entrance to the U.S. Arabia parking lot to continue up North Indian Creek Drive to make it to the public library. A woman in Muslim clothing was blocking the road, and a Hispanic-looking Indian woman was behind her. She started yelling at me because I directed traffic and made them clear the road. She started yelling obscenities at me, and I told her that I would protect myself if she got out of the car to fight me. Then the black man crossed the street with the cardboard sign in his hand coming in my direction from by the Good Time Soul Food restaurant. He started walking in front of me by Indian Creek Cemetery, and I just stood there. Then he turned around approaching me. He started looking at me in a fighting stance, and I stood in a defensive stance to protect myself. Then he stood in the middle of the road and started laughing and trying to provoke a fight with me. I kept watching him until he crossed back over the side of the road. He kept staring at me, and then he started yelling obscenities. I started up Indian Creek Drive going towards the library, and then I crossed the street to buy me a soda out of the Happy Mart convenience store when I noticed a black woman approaching my way. I went into the Happy Mart and the black woman turned. No, I went into the Happy Mart and that black woman turned into the Happy Mart convenience store parking lot on foot in a light pink hoodie and black stretch pants with her hair to the back natural in a bun. As I was leaving the Happy Mart Plaza, I was watching to see if she was watching me from inside of the store. Next page. And she was watching me hard. Then I turned right out of the Happy Mart Plaza back onto North Indian Creek Drive going towards the public library. Then I noticed the black woman following me. I only have 10 minutes left on this library session. I was supposed to be working on the evidence about my pregnancy, but instead I have to tell about who all they have trying to harm me. Quickly, Muslim man behind me, black man across the street, black woman in pink following me. As for light, we got into it. Then a license, Jamaica, license plates, Jamaica, Georgia, Arkansas. Then I saw them by PGHH. They were following me by PGHH. It's a little it's like some sort of place on Indian Creek Drive. They were following me by Fox Trail. They were following me by Piedmont Technical College, Georgia State University. They were following me by Indian Creek Elementary. They were following me by Clarkston High School. They were following me by the CS building by Georgia State. They were following me by the CB Georgia State building and Memorial College Drive, Indian Creek Way, and by Carriage Oak Apartments, by Indian Creek Apartments, by the Save Mart Liquor Store, by Clarkston Food Mart. They had paper tags. They had Crips, and then they had a Crips blood member follow me by Masid Al-Amonin, and then they had a gang member follow me by Jamerson Road, Fox Trail. They had a blood gangs member with no tag and follow me and try to talk to me at Indian Creek Apartments in a Denali. Then they had a man with no tag in a Denali GMC stopped me with no tag on the truck, and then they had a Crips blood member, Crips gang member come out of the library when I went into the library and got my ticket and typing what they did to me on the way. And the police were also doing it by Memorial College Drive. Now I have to do the evidence and start a new computer session. And the man asked if I was pregnant in the library and gave me a benefits pamphlet because he saw my stomach. And then he asked me to use my cell phone, but I wouldn't let him. And then I had to hurry up and type this.